It's time to know what are the trends in the government digital transformation and how those trends can impact our daily life and how the service will be changed during this or based on this. So the first one, which will be very crucial and we need it in every day, the unifying the citizen experience. Because no one wants to stand in a line. They don't want to have it. By applying a no wrongdoer approach to government leaders, they can catch up to private sector giants. Like, take for example, Amazon. How they elevated the expectation for the customer experience. How they implement digital transformation, and their IT practitioners must have a clear idea of what success looks like from the perspective of their user. Citizens need also to trust the government, as we mentioned, because trust and confidence are main crucial parts. So from the IT perspective, we can do that by deploying secure, reliable, efficient, effective, and elegant technology designed with human use in mind. When we have an example of Drum Committee Council in UK, they launched a new citizen engagement strategy. Altogether, Better Drum, they have three main goals. How to give the citizen more choices, gain better citizen insights, and increase the efficiency. So the Drum County Council, they transformed toward the digital approach to public service using digital governmental service solution called GovService. Unification is very crucial here because, again, we have over 90 processes and forms for government service that can be assessed online and in one place, making it easy for citizens to transact with their government. As a result of this, the number of citizen requests made online has increased. This dramatic shift in contact channel has already identified over $300K in annual saving, a figure that is expected to rise with time. That's why unifying this kind of citizen expectations or experiences is very crucial for any organization. So again, this is one of the biggest trends that we are using. The second trend will be automating manual process. What previously manual process can propose build software offload from the government employees. That's what many governments are asking and answering as they are transitioning from the traditional manual methods to automated solutions. Those solutions are powered by technology, and that's why it's disruptive. Let's take, for example, how we can bring efficiency to the public meeting process, and how to respond to those service requests. For example, the internal process for documentation and preparing for public meeting often require a manual routing for paper documents through a weeks-long review and approval process. This kind of automated through digital technology can make this process easier and simpler. We can transform what took like weeks into only a few hours. For citizens, that very same public meeting can be searchable on the government website, accompanying with a video that allows citizens to skip the portion of the meeting that they need to go for it, so they will be more focused and they will be more happy. At the same time, many local governments use this kind of digital solution to automate the managing and the tracking of the government records. Let's take, for example, Napa County in California. They are using software to streamline how to process the county records related to the financial disclosure of elected officials. They can focus on higher priority work by replacing what was once manual, time-consuming, tedious, with a digital solution. This kind of transformation also made a huge difference with them, increasing the trust and the confidence in the governmental sections. I guess you will like this one, designing for mobile service. This kind of mobile service have impacted the government with the same force as every other sector. It's very hugely impacted and transformed it. This trend is only increasing because mobile devices account for nearly half of all government websites. When it comes to hard-to-reach population, a mobile device may be their only option for device access. For these reasons and more, the government entities continue optimizing the mobile service experience. That's why the user or the mobile user-friendly experience is very crucial here. So from building mobile responsive websites to eliminating the need of PDFs. That will be an example. Let's take another case from Columbia County. They have a very good example here because their leaders delivered a well-designed, mobile-friendly government website that quickly connected citizens to the information and the service they want. This will increase, for sure, the satisfaction, engagement, and the insight the government can take from those data. Using more and better data is the fourth and the last trend we will speak about today. Because data and big data, this will be the big title we are mentioned every time. Data is no longer the domain of a selected few. Technological solutions have made data available to more a democratic range of government leaders and practitioners. This kind of data we mentioned before, and as always said, the data is the new oil now because it's very crucial for government as well as for everyone of us. The data provides context and feedback that is in return help the government become more efficient and more responsive to citizens, either their wants or their needs, and they will be able to receiving the data in real time. This kind of real-time data will derive whenever it's most valuable, rather than after significant time lapses that could render data insight. Data now is impacting everything, from housing to transportation, to even the citizen experience. At the same time, the government leaders acknowledge that the explicit rules are required for gathering, handling, and using the growing amount of the data available. Leaders use data from their communication software, Gov Delivery. This is a very good example how they measure and improve citizen engagement. The last year, they sent like 2.7 million messages, reaching more than 24,000 residents who are described to be the topic they are most interested in. With this combination, they have been able to measure an impressive more than 57% engagement rate, which beats the government benchmark by 12%, because now people can rely, can interact, and even can communicate with you in an easier and softer way. Now it's time to discuss more about the initiatives that came into UAE, because now we're speaking from Tidra Academy to this kind of digital transformation that we have around. In May 2013, the UAE initiated an ambitious journey to move from the e-government to the m-government, which means that will be mobile more service within the 2 years. This new government vision was announced following a meeting of the government officials. The target was set 100% to make priority service available online through 2 channels, the websites and the mobile phones. In 2015, the UAE had achieved a remarkable rate of mobile governors. Like more than 96% of the UAE government's most used 337 services made the transition to the m-government. And the m-service within 730 days and with the support of 41 government departments. The most important part that the change was taking place over those 2 years was the change of mentality and the culture of the government service. As you mentioned, because digital transformation will make no huge difference without the change in the culture and the mindset of the people who can lead those organizations. Today, delivery of service no longer relies on the physical offices and thousands of employees, but on advanced system, innovative minds, and because of which the rate of smart transformation increased already. We can see the dramatic change in this kind of smart transformation from 98% of the federal government services are available online. The e-service for rural areas also had changed because the UAE government launched for people living in the rural areas some special services like telemedicine. We saw during the COVID-19 that telemedicine services was highly recommended and needed. This kind of virtual doctors, internal telemedicine or international telemedicine service, and doctors were available for every citizen. This includes the satisfaction with the UAE digital government service. And that's why there is a sum of the remarkable achievement that UAE achieved in 2020. Let me discuss this with you. Actually, according to BCG or Boston already consultancy, we found that UAE ranked as per the 2020 Digital Government Citizen Survey as one of the best. The survey covered 36 countries, 26 digital government services, and almost 25,000 individual responses. As per the survey, the UAE ranked the third amongst all countries surveyed in the field of provision of digital services and the subsequent adoption. The study showed that the government of the countries of Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC, which the UAE is a member of, recorded approximately 30% more adoption of digital services than any global average. That's a huge achievement, actually. In terms of frequency of the access, also 61% of the UAE respondents revealed they use digital government service at least once per week. This is 40% above the global average, which is also a huge achievement. In terms of satisfaction with digital services, the BCG study shows that the level of the UAE is high. Moreover, we can add to this the scores. That UAE scored 76% as compared to the average of developed countries, which is 64%, and developing countries, which is 58%. The huge number here are also very promising. Other success as per the survey that more than 54% of the GCC citizens under the age of 25 are entirely comfortable with the digital services in all areas. We can figure out the difference between the new generations and how the adoption of different digital services are well now announced between them and very welcomed. Approximately 85% of GCC residents live in urban areas and regularly use this kind of digital service. That's why the GCC government are emerging as a global leaders in those kind of services, with a broad array of offering, strong adoption, and generally high level of satisfaction of the customer. We cannot hide that the pandemic of COVID-19 highlighted lots of critical areas we need to focus on of this digital government service, cementing the enduring status as a post-pandemic priority. The satisfaction rate also of the customer and digital services is very essential now as one of the indicators. With the online mobile service, one of the objectives of UAE and government enablers to raise the level of satisfaction of the public and regard to digital services. Since 2017, the user happiness with government digital services has increased significantly. The reason behind that were increase of public awareness about digital service and increase in the quality of the government websites and service quality. Let's think more now about what you're expecting from the rate of the user satisfaction of the government digital services. You think it's increased from 2017 till 2020 or no? We can find some of the good numbers that will be very promising and that mention that from 2017 till 2020, the happiness index now increased from 70% to 87%. Year after year, the UAE government is working to increase this kind of index and take it into consideration as an indicator how to improve, engage, and even satisfy the customer more and more. Now, we can continue with the case study from the happiness meter of UAE. Actually, you can see that this kind of happiness meter is now very crucial for the government to check because they are using technology to successfully boost this kind of happiness. Also, it highlights the customer and government service interaction and the way that the innovative application is helping address the challenges arising due to lack of consistent data and real-time feedback. So there is like some kind of interaction here between the customer, between the government to make sure that this happiness meter is reflective to every single step we are taking. The content for people of determination is another example. Here in Tidra, they launched a version of 2020, which gives the clear instructions and set valid rules for writing a web content. You need to consider all the personas, all the content categories of the clients and customer you have. This is the right business, right? So according to that, the guideline of the website content has to be in the two languages, Arabic and English, free of any grammatical or spelling mistakes, and properly segmented, if possible, to make it from English to Arabic and from Arabic to English, vice versa. The guidelines also cover the domain and hosting, the site architect and design. Again, the user experience and usability, accessibility, and even the e-participation. Can your site be more engaging? Do they spend lots of time there? Can they have access for the information they need or no? Now even the social media and the open data can be considered as one of the elements you need to consider into your website to be successful to engage your customer and satisfy them. According to the federal website guidelines that TEDRA already launched, a government website should have a software, read text, and alternative text for the visually impaired people. In addition, all audio and video files on the website should have descriptive captions to assist with hearing problems. All those kind of efforts are now done to make sure that every single customer you will have will be covered with your service and you leave no one behind. This is one of the federal websites using launch language. Sorry, we'll stop. Again, this is one of the federal websites using such language to help the people with determination, special needs people, to browse this page easily. Sorry, أنا حاجي وقف تاني لغاية بعد hearing problems هنقف. هنكمل نفس الفيديو. Taking into consideration any federal or governmental website now, you will find those websites will use the same language that help people with determination, special needs people, to browse this page easily. This aims to provide people with determination or special needs with easy access to various information, depending on their individual abilities. According to the policy, entities are required to provide information about service to people with determination and their families. This will ensure that all the services are easily accessible, which is one of the main factors why we are here, to make life easier for every customer we have. And this kind of transformation will support us to be done easily. The entities are also required to make information accessible using modern technology to people who suffer visual and hearing disabilities. Let's take into consideration another example of UAE Ministry of Community Development, who launched already under the theme towards an open world with sign language. They are targeting people with determination, especially those with a hearing impairment, to help them communicate with community members through text interpretation with sign language. The text translation is performed by a smart 3D character on the entity website. So again, it's kind of engagement and make sure that they will access and the information will be helpful for them. The service enabled the hearing impairment categories to ask questions through the website and record their messages through their computer cameras to be translated. Moreover, the smartphones now are useful and they added an edge for those services to be easier and more accessible. Smartphones now also considered as one of the main tools when you are considering your digital transformation or the new service that you are providing. So, according to UAE, it revealed that 81% of the phones that registered in UAE are smartphones, which means your customer will be willing to access those services through their smartphones. More than 90% of the UAE federal government services are available online now. And every government entity in the UAE has a website with electronic service section. This portal is for the federal and local government service. They encourage the UAE population to visit the website and take full advantage of the ICTs to complete their government transaction online. No need to go for any office or any entity physically anymore in UAE. Another aspect where ICT is applied for the e-participation. The UAE National Portal has a large section of e-participation under the name of Sharik. Sharik provides several e-participation channels, which include consultation, forum, blogs. In addition to each federal government entity has such a section for this. The user can participate in the government decision and policy making online, which is the new era, where there is a kind of engagement and mutual relationship, mutual responsibility between the government and citizen to make the right decisions and to have a participation in this kind of decision-making process, make it for the benefit of everyone.